Good morning, student. This is the second lecture of your chapter Motion, Force and Laws of Motion. And today's topic is Newton's Laws of Motion. Yesterday, we discussed about force and the scientist who has explained the term force and the velocity. Now, today we are going to continue with the Newton. Newton was the first scientist who explained that there is a relation between the motion, and he compiled the relation in 3 laws. He has given 3 laws: first law, second law, third law. Today, we are starting with the first law of motion. As earlier discussed, we had 2 states: a state of rest, a state of motion. Similar basis, on the same designation, Newton explained his first law. He says that an object remains in a state of rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless and until we apply force. This means that an object who is at rest remains to be at rest. An object who is in motion tries to remain in motion. An object who is moving in a straight line tries to be in a straight line until and unless we are applying force on it. Example, this activity you can do at your places also. Take a glass, put a cardboard and a coin on the cardboard. Just flicker the cardboard. What you observe that? The cardboard will fly off, but the coin fell exactly down to the tumbler. Why? Because the coin is at rest and it tries to be at rest. Now, this tendency of remaining at rest or in motion has one name, and that name is inertia. So, inertia is the natural tendency of a body to remain in state of rest or in uniform motion. So, it is the inbuilt property of the body. That is why Newton's first law is also called as law of inertia. Here are some examples. You must have played carom board. If you strike a pile of coins on a carom board, the lowest coin moves out, and due to the rest, the other will fall down. If you place the same activity, if you flicker the tumblers, the coin will come back to the tumbler. Another activity you observe very frequently: when you travel in a car and the driver applies the brake, you suddenly fell forward because the car was in motion. You are also in motion, but when the driver applied the brake, your body comes to rest. So, due to the inertia of motion, you fall forward. Similar basis, the same criteria. When you are standing in a bus and the bus begins to move suddenly, you fell backward because our feet are in contact with the floor, but upper body tries to be at rest. So, due to the inertia of rest, we fall backward. Now, what is the next topic? Next is inertia and mass. Inertia, we already explained. Inertia is the property of a body. Inertia is the measure of the magnitude. How much force is required to change the state. More heavier the body, more is the force required. More is the mass, more is the inertia. Similar basis. Lighter the body, lighter will be the force required. Lighter is the mass, lighter is the inertia. From here, we conclude that mass of a body is measure of inertia. Greater the mass, greater is the inertia. Here are some questions. You try to explain these questions. All the questions we did in earlier stages. I'll explain one. Whose inertia is more? A rubber ball or a stone? A stone. A bicycle or a train? A train. A 5 rupee coin or a 1 rupee coin? A 5 rupee coin. And same two question downstairs. Question 3 and question 4 are dependent upon on inertia. Now we are talking about measurement. What kind of measurement we are talking about? We are talking about measurement in terms of mass and velocity. So we named it the momentum. So momentum of a body is the product of its mass and velocity. If the velocity is not changing, the body is at rest, momentum is zero. If body has a velocity which is changing, its momentum is also changing. See from the equation, mass and momentum are directly proportional. Mass, velocity and momentum is also directly proportional. If I increase mass, momentum will increase. If I increase velocity, momentum will increase. If I increase both mass and velocity, the momentum get increased by the same factor. Example, if I increase mass by 2 times, momentum will increase by 2 times. If I increase velocity by 2 times, momentum will increase by 2 times. But if I increase mass and velocity both by 2 times, momentum will definitely change by 4 times, because mass is changing as well as velocity is also changing. Now the units of momentum. Mass unit kilogram, velocity is unit meter per second. So the SI unit of momentum is kg meter per second. Examples of a momentum. A truck which is moving with a slow speed can kill a person standing in its path because mass of the truck is more. Similar basis. A bullet of small mass when fired from a gun can kill a person because it has larger velocity. See from the example. In first case, we are taking a heavier mass. In the second case, we are talking about larger velocity. So, the impact on the body depends upon its mass as well as its velocity. Now come to the second law of motion. Second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the force applied. This means that if we change velocity with respect to time, we are getting acceleration. So, force is equals to mass into acceleration. Here in this slide, I explained the derivation of second law of motion. Derivation says that initial momentum is mass into initial velocity. Final momentum is mass into final velocity. Change in momentum is final minus initial, that is m comes out, v minus u. According to the second law, rate of change of momentum means mv minus u upon t. This means, remember this point, rate of change means it means we have to divide by time taken. So rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. To compensate the proportionality sign, we equate a constant. Constant is k. K comes out to be 1. So F is equals to m into A. SI unit of momentum. SI unit of force. SI unit of mass is kg. SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Combining both, SI unit of force is kg meter per second square. After this, we, on the basis of the Newton's law, we define the unit of force as Newton and its symbol is N. The second law gives us the method to measure the force, which is equals to the product of mass into acceleration. Here are some examples of laws of motion. Second law of motion. While catching a fast moving cricket ball, the fielder pulls his hands down because he increases the time, he reduces the velocity, he reduces the speed, and his hands are not getting harmed. If a ball is stopped suddenly, then its higher velocity gives us a large impact and our hand get hurted. In a high jump, the athletes are made to fall on a cushion bed or a sand bed. This is to increase the time of athlete after making the jump. This decreases the rate of change of momentum, hence the force. So the athlete is not harmed. We are supposed to do till here. We'll be meeting on next lecture. Till then, take care. God bless you.